the rumor, and we're saying rumors, and I don't know if it's much rumors, it is just speculation. Of course, when Michael Irvin goes on Colin Cowherd and says this, it certainly only adds fuel to the fire. But do you see any situation, or just let me just say this, will Deion Sanders be the Colorado head football coach next year, or will he be the Dallas Cowboys coach next year? Or see neither?
It's going to be here's the thing, right? I know that Deion Sanders speaks a good game, man. And he says, God told him to go to Jackson State. He told him when to leave. He said, God told him to go to Colorado, right? Jerry Jones is highly respected by Deion Sanders. If Jerry Jones comes calling, Jerry Jones is going to say, tell me no. I want you to look me in my face and tell me that you said you're the best coach in the country. I know you did a 60 Minutes. You said, they said, who's the best coach in college football? He said, what camera should I look at? I know he loved Colorado, but guess what? None of his sons going to be there next year. Travis Hunter ain't going to be there next year. And if you can hire Warren Sapp to coach them youngest, you can hire Warren Sapp to coach these pros. I got to see it to believe it. I know he loved Colorado. I know he got the second best high school quarterback in the 2025 class that just signed to go over there. But Colorado, that is not Dallas, and that's a lot of money. And Deion can say he don't need the money, but what I heard him say, what do people that have everything want more of? They want more of it. I can see him being the Dallas Cowboys coach next year. Because if he don't win, I mean, he would fall right in line with a whole bunch of other coaches that was right in that position to haven't won either.
Ben, it's nice to get to talk to you again. Sticking on the Shedeur and Colorado train, do you think Shedeur Sanders is getting enough love in the Heisman talk? Do you think he should be in any of those kind of conversations? And then what are the chances do you think the Dallas Cowboys entertain a Shedeur Sanders? How do you see that kind of situation playing out?
No, I don't think Shedeur Sanders gets enough love. I mean, they can't get past the fact that he's a Sanders, but he's a hell of a player. Might be the best college quarterback in college football, take nothing away, you know what I'm saying, from that kid down there, in Miami. But I think the thing about it, Cam Ward, but I think the thing about it is when you start talking about the Dallas situation, of course you're going to entertain it. You got to entertain it. Listen, I love Dak. But at the same time, Jerry Jones paid Dak Prescott because he had to, not because he wanted to. And Dak Prescott hasn't been the same since his rookie year. I know he had an incredible year in 2022, but 2023, this is 2024. You're going to entertain it because you know what it is. The one thing Jerry Jones is great at is marketing. If LeBron James or Bronny can play for the Lakers, I would love to see Deion Sanders, the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, coaching his son Shedeur.
That's huge.
Oh, my God. That would be instant must-see TV. That's box office.
Okay, so this is great, and this segues beautifully because I've had a chance to talk to a few cats about this, and so now we gotta get you on the record for saying this. Here's what I want to know: it's a different world. Okay, look, coach your kid in high school, great, happens all the time. I mean, we see it all the time. Coaching your kid in college, not as often, but you still see it, and of course, you never see it quite as high profile as you see right now with Deion and Shedeur. I don't know that we've ever seen it in the NFL. Certainly not to the level that we would see with Deion and Shedeur. How would that be received in the NFL, in NFL locker rooms?
I was saying in the locker room.
I mean, they would love it, and because of Deion Sanders. Listen, we've never. Here's the reason why. Here's the reason why. Right. The reason why I think they're gonna love it is this: Shedeur can play.
Okay.
See, people don't like it when the player can't play, but when he can play, and they don't make charisma like Deion. They don't make, must-see TV like Deion. Deion is taking the college football world by storm by how he did. I got my son giving you wall-to-wall coverage of every single thing we do. I got my shoe that people have forgot I had when I was playing. They wearing it throughout college football and NFL football. I think the thing about Coach Prime is he says, look, man, if I'm not winning games, until I start winning games, I got to give you a reason to watch. Well, we're going to watch the Dallas Cowboys no matter what. If Deion Sanders, could you imagine the swag? Could you imagine them sidelines? Listen, before Deion Sanders do anything else, he is great for business. Look at what Colorado's doing. So, yeah, and guess what? I'm going to say this. People don't got to like it. But they're going to watch. Because I don't think people like Colorado, but they're going to watch because of the Shedeur Sanders effect and the Deion Sanders effect. You put them two together, hey, man, I can already see LeBron James and them now trying to be on that sideline, guaranteed.
Well, and I'll tell you right now, KU, which hasn't come close to selling out a game at Arrowhead Stadium this year, 55,000 plus. They're trying to open up more of the stadium because Colorado's coming to town.
At the end of the day, Deion Sanders understands this, man. He said, listen, you can watch me because you hate me, but now you watch me because I'm winning, because I'm one of the best coaches in college football. And guess what? If Deion Sanders make it to the college football playoff and them boys even win some games and making some noise, he is validating being the hottest coach in college football outside the coach from Indiana, but they're not going to bring the guy from Indiana in. Deion Sanders is the head coach for Dallas, and he played for Dallas, and he is who he is. I would love to see it, because guess what? That means you got other free agents going to be trying to come over there and play with the Dallas Cowboys. I know people talking about Michael Parsons might be on the trading block. Boy, I hope they don't do that. But if Deion Sanders come and they actually start winning to be competitive, look out, man. I mean, the Dallas Cowboy fans always let me know I wish I was them, because I'm a Falcons fan, which I get it. Falcons ain't never won anything. But I would love to see Deion, represent America's team, no doubt.
I kind of want to just rehash back on where we were talking our draft talk. So do you think if you're in that Cowboys front office, number one priority going into this offseason is if we have the chance to have a top 5 pick, which it's looking more and more like that, maybe even top 3, is it getting a new quarterback and figuring out the Dak stuff and seeing if we can waive that clause and get a new quarterback in there, or is it rebuilding the O-line, coaching staff, or is number one priority a new quarterback?
It's got to be a quarterback, because at the end of the day, people can talk about O-line this and O-line that. O-lines don't throw footballs. The O-lines can't win you, can't come back in the fourth quarter. I would look at it just like this. Kirk Cousins and RG3 was in the same draft. One win the second overall pick, the other win the fourth round, and you had an insurance valve. If Dak is Dak, and I bring in Shedeur, I just already got my future in the building, right? Jordan Love, he sat for 3 years when Aaron Rodgers was there, right? I mean, Phillip Rivers sat for 2 years when Drew Brees was there. I'm going to put my future right here in the building. And guess what? If my president don't want to act right, my future going to be starting.
And could you see a situation, too, where, okay, maybe you go ahead and sit Shedeur for a year, see what kind of – because, look, here's the thing, too, and you know this better than we do. We don't know what Dak's body's going to be like coming off this hamstring injury. All right, and again, you did this at a much higher level than we ever did. How much does this when it's one thing to have a hamstring injury, it's another thing to have it ripped off the bone. And this was already a dude who wasn't trying to be mobile in the first place. What do we get? What are we getting with Dak? I mean, I get it. It's hard to say right now, but I mean, as far as somebody who's been hurt and knows what that's like, I mean, what's the best we can expect to get out of Dak next year?
I mean, great moments, not a great player. You're going to get some great moments. You're going to win some good games. You ain't going to win no big games. And I think that when you start looking at NFL football now, the one thing that you need that everybody's shown is if my starting quarterback goes down, do we got a good enough backup to where we can still stay on schedule? Because the teams that do that, they don't lose sight of what's going on. I mean, I go back to Philadelphia, right? They had Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz goes down, and they bring in Nick Foles. Now, I am not comparing Nick Foles to no great player at all, but they went to the Super Bowl and won it. You got to look at your team as, hey, what's the worst that could happen? Dak has proven to be accident-prone. And so we got to have a good quarterback. I like Cooper Rush. I don't love Cooper Rush. And I just think that when you got a shot to get a guy like Shedeur Sanders, you get him. Shedeur Sanders is box office. He want to go to a team that box office. He don't want to go to a team to where he want to be the face of a national franchise, not just because they're in the National Football League. Yes, you go all out to get Shedeur Sanders because at the end of the day, nobody wants to see Shedeur Sanders go to a team like the Jets or the Browns, because he's a good player that's going to a place to die. Let him try to go to a place like Dallas, and I think it's a no-brainer. Only because if you miss on a franchise quarterback, ask the New York Football Giants. They just went to DeVito and they just paid Daniel Jones 3 years ago. You're going to lose money in the National Football League, but if I can end up getting the player I wanted by losing money to win a Super Bowl, I think it's worth it.
Switching back to the college football landscape, we got the college football rankings, the second edition of them earlier in the week. Did you have any problems, qualms with what you saw? I know a lot of people, myself included, thought Georgia was a little too low. They probably had the best one in the country against Texas, which you did call. We remember that call over here at 105 through the Fan After Dark a couple of weeks ago. Overall takeaways from it and kind of how you see it playing out going into the future and the Georgia setting right now.
I wasn't surprised at all. I think the college football playoff rankings is like preseason college football rankings. We got to just have something to talk about. We still got 2 games left in the season, and the most dangerous team in college football right now might be Georgia, because if Georgia don't got to go to Atlanta and they still get in the college football playoff, and everybody was laughing and cracking jokes because they got 2 losses, they coming for everybody because they built for the postseason. I still think Alabama is very, very dangerous. I don't know if Indiana got staying power, and we'll see if they're gonna really let Boise State stay up as high as they is. But we still got 2 games left. And I just think listen, these college football playoff ranking people know that we're going to live and die with every single ranking that come out. So we can go, oh, my God, they got them here and them there. We'll see what happens. But listen, everybody talks about Georgia. You know why? Because they don't have to play them. Because if you do, they've beaten both UT this year, Tennessee and the team out of Austin, and it wasn't even close in either one. So, yeah, Georgia, they'll be fine. If Georgia's like Alabama, they're saying, look, we get to be one of the last teams standing, and we don't even got to play for the conference championship because they've already won that stuff. They only playing for national championships these days.
Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, Indiana, Notre Dame. That is your current top 6. What is the biggest fraud that I just listed in that 6?
Penn State, because the whole thing about it is when it comes to Penn State, right? Penn State can never ever beat Ohio State. How you gonna have them that high? But a team that needs to have some staying power, and they better not do nothing crazy this week against Army. Notre Dame is the only team that out of all these teams that only has a regular season. They don't have a conference championship game. They better prove to be as good as we think they are, because Marcus Freeman gonna have to prove that, hey, Brian Kelly, we have it that he's going down there at LSU, even though my Florida Gators made it so that they ain't even making the college football playoff. He better not lose this weekend, because if they do, they ain't gonna find themselves in one of the last 12 teams standing.
Speaking of, the game of the weekend for sure is Indiana, Ohio State. This is an Ohio State team that I'm sorry, but Will Howard, I watched him play at K-State. He's good, not great. He's good, not great, right? And look, I get it. They got athletes for days at Ohio State, but this is really more about, you got I think, a vulnerable Ohio State team, and you've got an Indiana team that we're trying to find out just how legit they are. This is the biggest game that they've had probably in the program's history. We know what game day is going to be there. I mean, of course, it sucks that this game's at 11 a.m. I feel like this should be a primetime matchup, but that's another discussion for another time. Your thoughts on this Indiana-Ohio State game?
Ryan, they better be very, very careful.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that right now, because if Indiana's still in the game in the fourth, this is what Indiana does is they'll get up by 2 touchdowns and they'll put a stranglehold on. They won't let you move the football no more. Ryan Day has proven to be a good coach, not a great coach, because he beats teams he's supposed to beat and lose the teams he should. Now, Indiana is undefeated right now. Their coach just signed, a 10-year, $72 million extension. If Ohio State comes out playing, that upset alert button is going to be going crazy on their bottom line, and I can see Ohio State, if they do something crazy, they will lose, but Ohio State better take care of business, because when the Indiana coach first got announced, man, he was at the basketball game saying that Penn State sucks, Michigan sucks, Ohio State sucks. I love his energy. You know, hey, man, he represented for the 60-something-year-olds. My daddy loved that dude. My dad being 60, I said, Daddy, Daddy, that ain't energy. That's $72 million. And he going to get all of it, too. So shout out to the Indiana boys, but Ohio State better not play around. They're going to be looking at a loss. All
right, last thing, get you out of here with this. We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about your Florida Gators. I mean, look, y'all took care of business. DJ Lagway's back in the mix. Suddenly, the seat has gotten a lot cooler for your boy Billy Napier. And let's call it what it is. I mean, I think this Ole Miss team is ripe to get beat. Your thoughts on your Gators handling their business this weekend?
I hope they can have a repeat performance on Saturday, and we got a noon kickoff, right? You know, they getting us in there early so we can enjoy the rest of our college football weekend. Right. But I'm gonna say this: if you looking for a quarterback out of high school, take your behind to Texas. I don't know what they doing with them Texas quarterbacks out of high school, but DJ Lagway, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we had Kyle Trask. And the DJ Lagway effect is serious. Florida State is hating us right now, not because we got to play them for 2 weeks, but we snatching a lot of them youngins from that 2025 class, and they can keep coming. But I do hope my Florida Gators go out there and handle business, because having the hardest schedule in the country, being 5-5 with a shot to go, 7-5 in the regular season, 8-5, they do make it to a bowl game. I'm loving it. But we just talk about it. They got to do it. Hope they can handle their business, because Lane Kiffin, he's being all politically correct. But I know Lane Kiffin got something for my Gators, because Jackson Dart and that offense is dead serious.
You had said before the season started, when we talked to you about your Florida Gators, you said, look, this is you talked about the schedule, you talked about the rookie quarter, or the freshman quarterback, and how this is going to be an uphill battle. You said 6 or 7 wins, and you'd be happy with this team. They're definitely on that track right now. What's been the difference, and is Billy going to live to see another day?
Billy is going to live to see another day. Listen, I discounted how great of a player DJ Lagway is going to be with him being a true freshman, but it's a DJ Lagway effect, man. He makes our offense go. Elijah Badger, I mean, he's one of the top receivers in the country whenever he is healthy. And our defense, if they playing the way they playing, so yes, Billy Napier has earned it now. I don't like the Scott Strickland came out and said he's going to be back in 2025 while before we play Texas because we got the beat down put on us. But they haven't. Listen, they lost to Texas, lost to Georgia, lost to Tennessee, lost to Texas A&M, lost to Miami. All those are good teams. Where some of them got a shot to go into the college football playoff. I like it, but we got a team from Oxford. We're gonna have to show Lane Kiffin, man. Hey, man, listen, we know y'all boys want a chance to go to Atlanta. We're gonna have to dash those memories, dash those hopes. Hopefully, we can do it.
Ben Troupe, it is always a phenomenal time talking to you. Enjoy the football this weekend. We're pulling for your Gators, and we'll do this again real soon, my friend.
It's always a pleasure being on with y'all fine gentlemen. Keep doing what you do. I keep doing me, and hopefully we'll catch up with each other with my Gators, hopefully talking about a bowl game.